All right, let's talk about another issue that has definitely been in the headlines, especially in Hennepin County, where they're calling the juvenile crime problem a crisis. Let's bring in Paul Blume now. Paul, last time you were here in the show, you were talking about this deep dive investigation that you did into this very issue of not enough space in juvenile detention. It was literally called Nowhere to Go. Here we are again, another week, another case that's in the headlines, this time a 13-year-old. So where are we with this?
It's interesting to make the jump from Rob Olson, the adult detention center, now over to where we house our children. But you're right, there is a case involving a 13-year-old that I've been tracking. And what would happen, and this fits right with what we spoke about, was maybe a month ago now, that Nowhere to Go. This was a child, 13 years old, deemed incompetent, ruled incompetent by the courts. He's a juvenile offender, think armed robberies, carjackings, trouble out on the streets. Deemed incompetent, so he could no longer be held by law at the juvenile detention center. He needs care, he needs treatment. He can't just be held detained as if in a jail. So what the county and the parties proposed, and the judge made the order, they sent him to a hotel. They call it respite care, and it does happen from time to time, where they put him on electronic home monitoring, move him out of the JDC, the juvenile detention center, to a hotel. This one was a Bloomington hotel. He was there for several days. At some point, his care provider, he's watched basically 24/7 by a social service provider. A care provider left keys on a counter, stepped into the bathroom, kid grabs the keys, took the car, 13 years old, from Bloomington, drove all the way up, dropped the car apparently up in the city of Minneapolis, and the kid hasn't been seen since. And we're still missing.
13-year-old.
13-year-old. No one knows where he is. There was just a court hearing yesterday. I mean, I don't think anyone was expecting him to kind of check in. It was a Zoom hearing, but perhaps his mom would have heard from him by now. But she told the court that she has not heard from him in a couple weeks. No one from the county side has made any contact with him. The judge extremely concerned right now about that young man's safety and well-being.
Okay, I think we have some sound that you wanted to share. Can you set this up for us?
Yeah, excuse me, and I apologize. I had something in my throat there, but yeah, this is important because since we last spoke to, one of the things Hennepin County has done, this is important, is the county itself has allotted $22 million to basically, I'm going to call it an emergency a center to go sort of an in-between a juvenile detention center and maybe a longer-term solution. But they're going to convert 2 floors in an adult treatment center in South Minneapolis to house children. So they have allotted this money, up to 15 beds, so 15 kids, to get kids like this who ran into some type of safe setting where they can be treated. And this week I spoke to the county administrator, top guy in the Hennepin County, about this issue, and then about the idea of keeping kids in respite care in hotels. This is a good idea. Take a listen to what David Huff had to say to me.
Not going to comment about that, but I just...
Will it change what you're doing?
Well, no.
Will you not use that respite hotel anymore?
We're moving away from that. I mean, as I said, when I heard that hotels were an option, that's one of the reasons why we went in with what we just did here with this stabilization center. I mean, watching children in a hotel room 24/7 is not the same as putting them in a stabilization center and trying to deal with them therapeutically, holistically.
And that stabilization center, again, would be where children could no longer stay in the JDC, could be moved, be in secure locations, get treatment, get the care they need, follow the laws, the Constitution of how you treat kids if they're deemed incompetent. But that's 3 to 6 months out, and the hope is to have 10 to 15 places for some of these children.
Wow. One of the things that stood out to me, in your Nowhere to Go piece, is you had a chance to talk to the families of some of these kids. Yeah. What are they saying about this?
Well, I mean, they're frustrated. It's hard. They want services, and in some of these cases, families aren't involved. The cases I've seen to focus in on, there are at least mothers who want help, who need help, that they're desperate. We talked about it last time I was here. These moms work. They have other kids to tend to. They can't be around their children 24/7. I know authorities are careful that they don't, just go off and blame parents for what's going on here. But it's tricky. I mean, because of a lack of beds, a lack of, especially at that high end, we talked about that psychiatric treatment facility type near hospital level care that some of these kids need, according to the courts. They're just not beds available. There's no place for them in Minnesota, so they're getting sent out of state. So that makes it hard on families if kids have to be housed elsewhere. This 13-year-old child who's on the run right now, we did learn there is a bed in Minnesota waiting for him. Oh, wow. So if he can be found soon, there is a place, but it's 2 hours away. And the family has raised concerns that they would have to drive a couple of hours to check in on that child, and they want to be a part of his rehabilitation, his care. So what do you do? And again, the search for him continues. The court's extremely worried, but yeah, it's no blanket answer, but clearly, authorities are concerned, the police are concerned, because these kids are a danger often to themselves, to other children, to the community at large.
Yeah, so everyone wants this problem solved, but getting there is so complicated and involves money and staffing and things that are just kind of not in control right now.
And services that start at the beginning. I mean, everybody would love, clearly a 13-year-old that's presenting himself to the system at this point, probably at 8, 9, 10, also had some problems, and are there investments to be made even lower, even sooner on the spectrum, if you will, or sooner in these families and these children's lives to maybe to get them so they're not doing this at this point in their 12, 13 and their teen years. So it's a complicated matter, but we're really zeroing in on it. Hennepin County making investments to at least on the housing side of it in terms of juvenile detention, and we'll just have to see where it goes from here. I know
you'll continue to follow this very, very closely. I would highly recommend, if you haven't already seen it, to go to fox9.com or YouTube channel and check out. It's called Nowhere to Go. You guys did an incredible job, a deep dive, almost a year-long investigation on this, and it really is eye-opening in a lot of different ways. So, all right, thanks, Paul.